Hi, this video is intended to be corrections for your boiling and electrolysis assessment. So if I highlighted this box on your graded assessment, it means you got a 1. If I highlighted this box, it means you got a 2, here for a 3, and here for a 4. If you got a 1 or a 2 in the beginning or developing, I highly recommend you do corrections. So I'm going to walk you through what to do. I'm not going to give you the answers, but you can use this video to really help. So the first thing you need to do is give a definition in words of electrolysis and boiling. Here are some examples. First, for boiling, boiling is a type of change where you do something to water, causing it to turn into a certain type of gas. Electrolysis is the same thing, where you do something to water, it's a certain type of change, and it changes it into a gas. But one is a physical change and one is chemical. One heats the water, whereas one runs electricity through it, and the types of gas you get are different. So here's a word bank at the bottom you can use to fill in these blanks. I recommend pausing the video here, looking in your book on page 82, and completing these sentences. Then once you're finished with these sentences, you can copy them into the definition box on your assessment. So next, you need to write a word equation and a chemical formula. What I did here is I gave you the start of the word equation and the start of the chemical formula. So in both cases, we start with water. But what happens to the water is different. So if you look on page 83 in your book, it will walk you through the word equation and the chemical formula for boiling. And if you look on page 84 of your book, it will walk you through the word equation and chemical formula for electrolysis. Then, once you've gotten that information figured out, you can copy it to this box on your assessment. Finally, in order to be proficient, you need to create a molecular model of boiling and electrolysis. So, here's an example of that. First, in both cases, we start with water molecules. And in both cases, the water molecules change. So in boiling, you have to figure out a way to show me what happens to these water molecules. I recommend looking at pages 82 and 83 of your book for a little bit of help, and that will help you to draw this model. Now for electrolysis, something different happens to the water molecules. So we have water molecules here, and after electrolysis happens, you'll have to draw for me what happens to the water molecules. I recommend looking at page 84 of your book. Even though there's not a picture, you may be able to use the words to help you. Also think back to what happened to the hydrogens and the oxygens in the water molecules when we practiced this outside. That will be really helpful to answer this question. And then you can draw this model in these boxes of your assessment. Finally, if you're up for it, the level 4 question just asks you to look back at this information and compare and contrast what is similar and what is different about electrolysis and boiling. All right, use this video to improve your score. Your quiz is due by Friday.